You're watching The Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Hey guys, this is another episode of Space Cadettes with Bean, Jena, and we have a special guest, our producer Jay, who went to his first con. So we're going to talk about that and some other con goodies, and we're going to finish it out with Bean's pick of the week. But let's talk about Con-Palooza. It was a lot of fun this year. But Jay, how'd you feel about going to your first con?
It was pretty much amazing, honestly. There were times I've told people before. I'm a super socially anxious, socially awkward person. There were some moments where I was like a little overwhelmed, but I would step outside, come back in. I'd go to the booth for a little bit, but after a while, I would venture farther from the booth, stay away longer, and then thankfully you and Steve showed up and saved me for a little bit. So again, appreciate that a whole lot. But man, I had a blast. Like, the only thing that would have made it better is if Jena didn't have to work it the whole time. I think the best part about it was at no point, because the thing about me is I could go to a restaurant, and if the restaurant has too many people in it, I start like shaking and getting like all spastic. But there was something about being around people that are into the same things that you are, that for some reason I didn't feel it that much. Because, I mean, you take a crowded restaurant compared to what we were in Friday and Saturday, and it's nothing. It's not. There are thousands of people there during the con. And like I said, I got a little anxious at times, but for the most part, I didn't have the feeling that I normally do, that like, oh, everybody's staring at you. They think you're a weirdo. I don't know. It's strange, but I had an awesome time. And everybody there was super nice. You bump into somebody, you both said, excuse me. I didn't have any kind of I didn't meet a jerk there. Let's put it that way.
What'd you think about Artist Alley?
I'm glad this was my first time and I was a little frugal because I could have spent so much money. There are so many booths, and there was stuff I was looking at. I just was like, I just want one of everything. It's really hard though. For me, I am the worst at picking things out, at least for myself. So I'd walk down here. I had some buddies. Dan Price of Bigfoot Knows Karate had a booth down 2700 was near the Artist Alley, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hung out with him for a little bit. This was my first time meeting him face to face. We talk a lot on Instagram Live and stuff. Man, you could spend so much money at this thing. So many awesome things.
Do you want to talk about the big star that you met?
Oh. So, not knowing a lot of con etiquette, I thought when there were signings and things like that you had to at least buy an autograph or pay for the person's time. I didn't know you could just talk to them. So Steve actually was like, yeah, you don't have to get an autograph, man. You just go talk to the person. So we met, and I'm probably saying his last name wrong, but Carlos Ferro, who is an amazing voice actor, but how we know him is he voiced Dominic Santiago, Dom, from the Gears of War series. And, Steve talked to him first, and then, I got all nervous, and I was like, well, I don't think I can beat Steve's story. But I walked up, and the first thing I said to him was, look, I love you, man. I appreciate everything you do. But my wife told me if I didn't, and he stopped me and he goes, there's never been a time where I've heard my wife told me to tell you where that ended good. And I was like, no, she just wanted me to tell you that I had to come tell you that she loves you. She played Dom in every game. You know, we've been playing these games since we were dating, and I was playing them before we met. And he was like, well, why didn't you bring her? I was like, well, unfortunately, she's working a booth right now. But he just sat there and talked to me, and it was one of the best experiences. You know, you hear all the time, you know, you don't meet your heroes. They're not how you think they are. Well, twice now, because I count Dr. Christie and Garrett as one. Twice now I've met people that I've really wanted to meet, and they've exceeded my expectations. He was such a nice dude. He was so funny. And, you know, when I got done talking to him, Shanice and Steve, once again, being the awesome people that they are, again, thank you for this. They were like, well, why don't we stand in the booth for Jena so Jena can come in here and meet him?
Steve walked up to me and he's like, I shook his hand and haven't touched anything else. Do you want to shake my hand? I was like, oh my God, I'm never watching his hand. Because he's like one of my favorite voice actors. And then the next thing I know, like Shanice comes back around and she's like, hey, there's no line. Miss Jen said I could watch the booth. Go. And I'm like, really? I could go? This is my favorite voice actor. I can't wait to go. And I literally like hand her my phone so she can keep doing like the transactions, and I take off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just like
keep up with her. I couldn't keep up with her. She's usually not that fast.
All 5 feet of me, guys. I'm not a whole lot of legs.
So we get there, and I send her through the line, right? And she gets to the corner, and I was like, this is going to be for both of us. I said, but do you want his autograph? And she's like, of course I do. So I give her the money, and she walks up there. Well, there's another couple up there, and then Jena walks up, and despite what she will tell you, she cries a little bit. Just a little bit. Well, so I'm standing there because I'm thinking to myself, I was like, look, he's already spent all this time talking to me. You know, I'm not going to bother him. I'm very much a person that's like, I don't ever want to feel like I've overstayed my welcome with anyone. But then him and his manager are like, dude, what are you doing? Come here.
Come on.
Like, okay. So I walked down there, and once again, just one of the most gracious guys. So funny. You could tell he was exhausted, but he had this amazing energy about him. He started doing all his voice lines for Dom. It was so great. This guy also, he's going to be in the Disney Plus Baymax series. He's going to be a voice on there.
Yeah.
But super cool guy. He signed the picture. I wish I could remember the joke he made to Jena, but he made
oh my God.
Jena Jameson joke.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, it's Jena. It's Jena. And he's like, oh yeah, like Jena this person. I was like, oh no, Jena this person. And he's like, from the porn? And I was like, oh no. Oh God. And he was like, I caught you. I was like, oh no. He said I was cool.
Yeah, that's a big takeaway from all of it. But such a nice dude. Like if anybody out there is a fan of Gears of War or a fan of Carlos,
where are you going?
He's the dude that I would tell you, if you have a chance to meet him, do so, because he's just amazing. He's amazing.
Okay, so from your takeaway from your first ever Comic-Con at all,
mm-hmm.
what was some of the things that, like, okay, so you took a lot of our advice. You wore the comfy shoes, you wore the comfy clothes, you paced yourself and walked around everything before you pretty much bought stuff. You came in with small bills. I made sure of that. And like you made sure you had different forms of payment. Is there any other advice you would give people going to their first cons during this con season?
I would say have a buddy with you. It's super easy to get lost. Like I said, when I bumped into people, you know, everybody was super polite about it. But I would have a buddy with you just so you have somebody like you can hold on to each other like a line. Because it's easy to get kind of sidetracked and lost trying to go. Because it's not like 2 lanes of traffic here. You got some people walking up, some people walking down and crisscross across it. And then like in the middle, it's just like people just trying to cross everybody. But outside of that, I would just say take a buddy with you, buddy or a group, because this was until Shanice and Steve got there. Like I said, you were working, so my first Comic-Con was I did it on my own for a while. It wasn't too bad.
I do want to talk about the importance of looking at a map, because I sent you. I was like, hey, I need, we haven't eaten anything today. Can you go get me? Everybody's walking around with popcorn. You get some popcorn. 2 hours later, he comes back with no popcorn, and he's like, I could smell it. I couldn't find it. And it wasn't until I sent him out a third time when he bumped into Shanice and Steve, and he was like, where's the popcorn? That he found it. And it was just like,
I didn't bump into Shanice. Okay, I bumped into one of the coolest Jubilee cosplays I've ever seen. So let's get that right. She had Remy LeBeau himself call her name out while we were walking down to see Carlos. That was awesome.
That was my invitation, finding the popcorn. And adding on to what Jena said, there is this weird phenomenon that happens in cons, like this popcorn thing. You see people just carrying just this one specific snack, and you're like, where is it? Like, where are you guys getting this? And it drives you like a little insane, because it's like, okay, am I being pranked right now? Or do you guys agree to get this popcorn outside the arena? I mean, outside the convention center? Yeah. So in Jay's defense, like, this popcorn, it was really just like tucked away. So unless you were like, you find it on accident, I think all the directions in the world, you were just gonna miss it so many times.
There was just like guy in a big, dangerous trench coat, just with hot oil in there, just making the popcorn.
I got
butter too. Butter in this. No, but honestly, the first 45 minutes, I saw people with popcorn. I smelled the popcorn. I even followed another group of people like a weirdo that were looking for popcorn too, and they couldn't find it. So when I saw Shanice, I was like, "Where'd you get the popcorn?" And it was between a barbecue place and a Dippin' Dots place. So not only did I get her the popcorn, I went back later and I got me some Dippin' Dots because I love Dippin' Dots.
Sorry, I'm just imagining you just like the light at the end of the tunnel. There's the popcorn.
It really was, because I had been trying to find you popcorn forever. You wanted popcorn. I wanted to get you popcorn. I couldn't find it.
Because it was so weird. I saw people walking around with these giant bags and little bags and all kinds. And I'm like, it can't be too far if you guys are walking by my booth and everybody has it. So it can't be too far, right? Yeah. No, apparently it was on the other side of the convention center.
Then I went to, I think it was called Pecos Pete's, and I got you a cup.
Yes. Oh.
And I know you don't like root beer, so I got you Coke. And I was considering, and I probably should have just gone ahead and done it.
I told you.
I should have bought another one, because I wanted to try their root beer, because it was like their root beer.
Yeah.
But that thing was cool, because it was like you bought this, and this was like a 40-ounce cup.
It's right there in the dining room if you want to grab it.
It is. Hold on.
I was gonna say, because I can go grab ours right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you guys got a different one.
Yeah, it's like the same concept. Bring it back and they refill it.
Yeah. Awesome. I couldn't find mine from years ago. I was so mad.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
People would finish it and they would like belt it onto their cosplays or on their backpacks.
That's how I had it when we were moving stuff back out. I clipped it on my key ring. But yeah, it was $25, but you got free refills. And like I said, this is a big cup.
Yeah.
And if you bring it back like next year, you have to pay just like a one-time $7 fee, and you should get refills for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
See, that's awesome. So, but next time I'm going to get one too.
Yeah. And next time
you're planning on going again.
See, Jay made the big mistake, a big mistake, where he went Friday and Saturday and then went back to work Sunday so he couldn't go on Sunday. And because he works overnight, he was like, we got done. We had already been at the con. We got up at 4 a.m. Saturday morning, and then we weren't even back till like 11 or 12 at night. And then he's like, okay, I need to stay up tonight. And I'm like, I'm going to pass out. Bye. I just passed out for 4 hours and did it all again the next day.
Yeah.
But like poor Jay, he was like, okay, I have to stay awake because I have work tomorrow night. I was like, You should have taken the weekend off. You should have come all 3 days.
And I should have, because delayed onset muscle soreness is real. It is. I was not worth anything when I went to work that night. Not anything at all.
And that wasn't so much from being at the con. It was more of, so on Thursday, he came up to the store to help us load stuff into the trailer. So did Shanice. Mm-hmm. And then Friday, he came with us to finish loading the trailer and the truck, and then riding up there with us where we set up our booth. And that is probably more exhausting than anything else of the con, because you're sitting there carrying these huge, giant, like, grates to set up our booth. If you guys go and look at like the pictures and stuff that we post in videos, you see these things were like giant and heavy. And then the shelves and boxes and tables, and because when you walk in, there's just 2 tables there for you in this giant area. Everything else you have to bring and set up yourself.
Yeah, I was on Miss Jen's show, Talking Shop. I was her second guest, and we were talking about it. And the one thing I could tell people who aren't in the vendors at cons, fans won't realize how much effort goes into building these booths. There's not a booth set up for them. They don't pay for that. They pay for the spot, and they build the booth themselves. Miss Jen is a beast, because she built that thing pretty much by herself. We brought her the stuff, and she built it while we were bringing stuff in. So that was amazing.
So many zip ties. When we were loading out on Sunday, we like took everything down. There was just this like pile of zip ties. There had to have been at least 100 in there, and I'm like, oh my god. And that wasn't even all of them, because I had been, like, slowly sweeping them up so we didn't leave too much of a mess. And by the end of it, Miss Jen was like, you know what? I don't care. Let's just go. I was like, all right, okay. I don't care anymore.
I'm going to try to throw a picture up of what the booth looked like, so you can get an idea how big this thing was that she built.
So much.
Yeah, y'all were busy that day. Y'all were
every day. It was insanity. Absolute insanity. And then like the vendor floor closes like 2 or 3 hours before all the events happens. And like the vendors, they're like, okay, if you guys want to go check stuff out, but you can see every vendor and exhibitor and artist and everybody there is just like, I want to die. They had closed. I remember on Saturday night, they had closed. We were packing up a couple of things and we were headed out. And I walked by this one booth where somebody just laid down on the ground and had fallen asleep. And it was like a big pop booth. And he had a lot of holes. So he was like really, really busy that day. And he just like laid down. And I don't think he meant to fall asleep, but he just like passed out on the ground. I was like, do you want some water? He just kind of like looked at me and he's like, I need to refill. I was like, okay. Let me just take these boxes to the truck. I'm not getting roped into that. I just wanted to make sure you were alive. Bye. But this was a really, like, for this Comicpalooza, there was a lot of people that were kind of like really worried that it was going to be a dud because of, everything that's been going on between the Great Panini and the world. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I heard a lot of people say, man, this is one of the best Comicpaloozas we've had in a while.
Yeah.
So I was like,
even with 4 major guests canceling last minute.
Yeah.
So people were bummed about
Anthony,
the guy who plays Homelander.
Anthony Stark.
Thank you. Backing out last minute, but it was kind of understandable. He signed into a contract. He had to go back for reshoots. Stuff like that happens. But Karen, the person who plays Kimiko, was there. And I actually have a fun story. So on Sunday, she was walking around. She was just walking around. And she walked by our booth and saw our boys poster. Was like, "That's a cool poster." And I almost cried. And then she walked away.
Did you get some more because you sold out that Saturday?
We did. We brought some more on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, people really, really wanted that boys poster.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. We only brought 3 on Sunday, and I'm like, we should have brought more. But I think that's all we had left at the store.
Y'all also had Chris Eccleston and Kyle MacLachlan walk by
Yeah.
you, didn't you?
Yeah, by the front part on the comic side, yeah. Then, by the way, they walked by our booth again on Sunday, and Miss Jen is right. Those men are so incredibly more handsome in real life than their pictures and their movies. Because like Miss Jen had said it perfectly on Saturday. She was like, they are impossibly handsome. I thought it was gonna be like stage makeup or something made them that handsome. No. They are. Why? That's not fair. And then Karen, she's impossibly beautiful in real life as well. Like, what?
Kyle's aging like fine wine there.
So is Chris.
Yeah.
So is the 9th Doctor. Oh my goodness, that's not fair.
Did Miss Jen ever get the picture? I know she tried to get a picture of one of them when they walked by, and one of them turned out clear, but the other one didn't.
I don't think so.
Okay.
We got so busy.
Oh,
We
yeah.
were just like, at one point on my side of the booth, I had like 20 people in a space that should only hold like 5.
Yeah.
And Miss Jen and Martin Davis, who was there to help out with us on the comic side, literally the entire front of the table was lined, and there was a line on the side of it too, because that's where we had like some of our trades. And then on Nicole's side, which was all the plushies and stuff, she literally had like 3 lines of people just trying to like buy plushies that we had. And we were just like, that was almost the whole day was kind of like, that was our busiest, but that was very close to what most of the day was like.
What was the most asked about plushie? Because I know there was
Oh
one.
my God. It was an Eevee Evolution plushie. It was like this big, and it has like, I remember petting the ears. Oh my God.
Was that the Umbreon Eevee one?
Yes.
Like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh my God. We sold out of that every single day. As many as we brought. Like, I don't even think we have any at the store left. Because, like, we kept having to bring more.
So I'll tell you this. That was a smart idea Miss Jen had for your side. To get rid of all that extra inventory y'all had in the back room. Like, that was crazy.
Yeah. The first day was mostly Star Wars and Star Trek, like, collectible, like, figures. We had them, like, 3 for $10, or in another box that was $1. And then people were just buying them like crazy. I had this one person buy $90 worth of collectibles, and it was all because he was like, oh, this is Star Trek ones. I haven't seen these Star Trek ones in forever. And I'm like, I have like 50 of them. He's like, I'll buy them all. And I'm like, thank you.
Like, you were doing so well that you also had $50 mystery boxes, and you had to break those boxes open because you were running out of stuff.
Yeah. I would like, okay, well, I'm out of stuff, Miss Jen. I'm breaking this box open. She's like, oh, try and sell this. I was like, too late. This box is in there. And now it's gone.
See, whenever because I know the store was so busy at Conpalooza, I just had to wonder, because Conpalooza is not like a small con or anything. I think it's either the biggest or tied as the biggest con here in Texas.
It's tied with the Dallas
Dallas Fan Expo.
I think they're tied.
And like, I could see how many people was just in that convention center, which is huge. And I wonder about San Diego, because I know shops, they have their booths there, but I don't think you can really call them booths, just like their whole little blocks maybe. And I just wonder like how you could even handle that. Like, do you just say like, oh, we're going to San Diego, I'm going to call out, you guys have fun though? Because I don't think I could. That's just like, I wouldn't mind going as like a guest.
Yeah.
But working San Diego, that would just, my anxiety would just shoot right up. My God.
I have something funny about that. Way back in the day, in the early 2000s, I used to go with my dad because he would help with security and work security. And there was this one, I wouldn't call it like artist alley, but it was like some of the artists and stuff like that. They would have like their tables set up and stuff, and they have like enough that you could fill a store with. One of them was my dad's friend. He asked if he could borrow me for help. And for the love of God, for 7 hours straight was just me taking money and passing things. That's all it was. I'm pretty sure that I did this motion for like 2 days afterwards because that was ridiculous. And that wasn't even when San Diego Comic-Con was at its biggest. Like it hadn't quite blown up to its epic proportions that it ended up being. This was back when it was still kind of like half of that. So I think what would happen if we ever did San Diego Comic-Con, we would have to close the store and all the staff would have to go. All of us. And then we would also have to tag in other people. Like I'd be tagging in Bean and tagging in Jay and be like, all right, we're going to work. Let's do this.
Well,
we probably, like, oh my God, I can't even imagine.
San Diego Comic-Con's the dream. Like that's the one thing on my bucket list I really want to do. Little baby steps with these other ones.
Oh, there's one last thing I want to touch on. The cosplays this year. Oh my God, the cosplays this year were just like, people have been waiting for 2 years. They've been refining them. Like there was this one person who came into my booth and was like, she had literally hand cut designs and then literally like wood burn them into her leather. Oh, it was so beautiful. Like the cosplays this year were just like the top.
Steve got a picture with one. I don't know who it was. I don't know.
Warhammer, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That thing was like 10 feet tall. It was amazing. And then the droids they had going around.
Oh my God, yeah, they were so cool.
So in conclusion, I had a great time. I'm still here. Didn't have a heart attack or a panic attack or anything. Well, I had a small panic attack, but wasn't that bad. All in all, like 30 out of 10 would definitely do again.
To next year.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, guys. And I think that's time for us to take like a small break. So we'll be right back here in a minute where we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on at San Diego and then find out more about Bean's Pick of the Week. Bye.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere The Experience is all the time.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. We want to thank Jay for joining us, telling us kind of his experience. Now that San Diego is kind of going on at this moment in time, for us at least, kind of talk about some of the stuff that we've been seeing and what we really want to see coming out of it. Shanice, take us away.
So last night was the preview night. So we got to see the first trailer for Dungeons and Dragons, which looks better than expected. So I'm excited to check that out. And I posted a link in our group chat about the Lord of the Rings trailer for Amazon, which I still haven't actually seen the trailer, but I know Jena is a hardcore Lord of the Rings fan. So it's like, hey, we'll just throw this in there real fast before we start filming. And some exciting things from Marvel's animated section, I guess sector or whatever, with the new Spider-Man series and X-Men 97, which I'm really excited about. And a second If. Yep.
Season 2 is going to be rated mature.
Ooh.
I was surprised that season 1 was not.
Especially that Strange episode.
Oh my gosh, right?
And I think I may have to start watching The Walking Dead again because they made an announcement about 2 characters who I really like. And it's like, well, wait, now I need to watch it again.
Are we starting back at the beginning?
No, well, I think I may just have to jump back into where I stopped watching and I really don't want to do that because I was so mad.
Oh God. There's so many shows I've quit because it made me mad.
But what are things that y'all are expecting to see tomorrow? Because tomorrow is the big day, Hall H, DC, and Marvel. So what are y'all hoping to see?
I'm hoping to see what they're going to do with DC because there's actually been quite a few actors and actresses that they've had to drop because of things. So I'm like, are we going to see if the movies that they were supposed to be, the head in are going to be dropped, or if they've like recast or reshot, or are they just going to release them? Like The Flash. I'm so excited to see that movie. But right now, I don't know because of the main actor if it's actually going to get released or not. Or if it is going to get released, if it's going to be like in theaters or not. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like for DC, possibly tomorrow is going to be either damage control or new announcements. And either way, I'm going to have to see it. So, and then Marvel, they've kind of announced a couple of things already, but we're just going to have to see who they plan on using for the next stage of or the next phase. Or is that what they call it? They call it phase, right?
Phase 4.
Yeah. See what they're going to do for phase 4. And if I do not see some sort of announcement or trailer for Black Panther 2, I'm going to fight somebody. I was telling Shanice this earlier. I was like, I love Black Panther. I loved the movie. I loved seeing him in this. I'm so sorry about Chadwick. I really am. But maybe it's time for Shuri to rise. And I want to see that so bad because that actress is so awesome. And I want to see her take up the mantle. I think that would be so cool. No. So our producer just said, do you think DC will release trailers after they are shown or on YouTube like they did a few years ago at SDCC? That would be kind of I don't know. Because when they did it last time, a lot of people were upset. They were like, well, why did I even go see it in Hall H? And it's like, you got to see it an hour or two before anybody else got to see it. Like you got the first, there are so many people in there with like their phones or cameras recording it that I feel like DC got on top of that game of releasing the real one before people were trying to release like a bootleg one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's smart too because it's like I remember just ever since I was in like high school, like just following all these blogs of people going to San Diego. Yeah. Like if you're lucky, you could watch the leaked trailer or a really just shaky, video on YouTube before it's immediately taken down. Or somebody, and these people, they have their memories are just amazing, just photographic memories. They would literally write down the entire trailer, detail. And I think the best thing that DC and other people have started doing, hey, this is more marketing for us. We can just upload the trailers ourselves so people at home can see it too in the quality that it deserves. Like I know the first Suicide Squad movie is, depending on how you feel about it, but there is a reason why DC uploaded that trailer as quickly as they could because people kept uploading that trailer, and no matter how many times they took it down, people still uploaded it to Twitter, to YouTube because the hype is so real for it. And I don't know, I'm happy that they started doing that. And I know there's still people like, well, I waited in this line for hours to see a 2-minute trailer. You see the cast, you're there in person.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Bean, how do you feel about it?
I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to think if I would I think I would go to something like that. Like if I had the ability to go there, I don't think I would stand in a line all day to get in to like see a trailer early. But I feel like if you're making the decision, like I'm going to go sit in a line for like 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever, and then complain, like you sat in the line to be there.
Yeah.
To be with all the other super fans, to be like, yes, like I was there. Like, I feel like it's the experience, not
Yeah.
just the trailer. Because if you just wanted to see the trailer, you could just stay home and wait for it to be on YouTube and then watch it.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause I don't think Marvel's doing that yet, where they're waiting a couple of weeks till after SDCC to release it. So if you make it in a Hall H and you get to see the Marvel ones, we'll see it too, just the like leaked one. I can wait a couple of weeks to see it because people do literally, as soon as the con opens, get in that line and miss everything else about the con. But it's a choice.
I do know you do have some pretty awesome swag though. Like,
oh my god,
you
yeah.
only get, and like as you're watching it, because just to make sure like the people watching this, they don't think that that we're saying that people get in this line to watch a 2-minute trailer and then they just dip. No, they just
No.
a whole panel with Q&As with moderators and all that. So it's worth checking it out. But like how being said, if people are legit getting angry that people at home are watching a trailer, that I don't know what to tell you, man. Like you have the experience, we don't. Like, take the W.
I love the way DC releases it like right after. I mean, there are some people who really can't make it at all. Like there's just you don't know what's going on in somebody's life that they either can't make it to California, can't make it to San Diego, can't make it there, couldn't get a ticket there, have nowhere to stay out there, or just couldn't get off work, or are even overseas being part of our military. Like it's everybody from every walk of life. You don't be mad. Let everybody enjoy the newness and the awesomeness that's coming out of Hall H. You're getting to meet the actual cast and getting Q&A time. Let us be able to see the trailers. Please. But that's just my take on it. The I Am Groot trailer just dropped.
Yeah, I was looking at like trying to look and see like what news has come out because I just like haven't looked it up before, and the only thing I can see is that Groot farts in the trailer, so that's the important stuff that is being reported on. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Well, I'm wondering for the I Am Groot trailer, I'm wondering if he's like still a teenager.
Oh, I don't know.
Because like at the end of what was it? At the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, the second one? No. At the end of one of the Avengers, you see him start to grow up a little bit, and he's a teenager, and he's like, "I am Groot." And he's like, "I did not say that." So I'm wondering if it's like his like teenage years still, or if he's like back to being full grown. That'd be so cute. I am Groot.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say?
There was something. Actually, before I get into it, like, Bean, was there anything that you were like? I know that at least that you're hoping to see this weekend. Like,
I'm just, you know me, I'm always behind. I'm just along for the ride. Like, I am looking. So we're definitely going to talk about the Lord of the Rings trailer. That was something that like I didn't know. I watched it when you put it in the group chat like before we got on here today. So I have feelings that I want to express. So
me too. You go first.
So, and I was just like, I definitely feel like I'm coming into the new series very guarded and very like, okay, is this going to be good? Because I that was like the first thing watching the trailer. I was just like, it just, I can't really like, don't really know how to describe it, but like, it just feels so different from Peter Jackson's, which obviously it's decades after that those movies were made. It's a totally different everything, which also, do you guys know if Weta Workshops is like working on this at all, or is it?
I have no idea. Like, that's something I'm gonna have to go do a deep dive into afterwards. Because I was looking at it and I'm like, There's a lot of change. Is any of the original stuff back at all? Because I see Galadriel, they have a different actress, and that makes sense. This is like 1,000 years ago. But like, it feels like okay. I'm sorry. I have to explain this a little better. So the reason the first 3 movies are my favorite, like I love them so much, is because of the practical effects that they use. I love when they use practical effects and, you know, just the story, and you lose yourself into it and you're sitting there. It's just this amazing universe that's been, you know, built. And then in the Hobbit series, where they literally just like picked out things from like either books or like, I don't know. And then they used like relied heavily on CGI. Like it was heavy on CGI. Like the Orcai and the orcs and like everybody was like pure CGI with like almost no practical effects. And that really did make me sad. Like I was like, this could have been done with practical effects and it would have looked cooler. So in this series and watching the trailer, it almost feels like they did very similar, not the same as they did in the first 3 movies, where it looks like it's practical effects with CGI on top of it. So I'm gonna have to see. Like, I'm excited to see what kind of storyline they're gonna do. But you can ask Shanice. Like, she sent it, and then her and Jay were talking in the background. And I was like watching it, and I'm like, "You all dead? You all dead? You all wait? You're not dead, but you all dead." That's well, that's a lie. You're dead. That's a lie. I'm pretty sure that's what I was doing like the whole time watching the trailer. I was like, "You're all dead. You're not. Kinda. You're dead. That's a lie. Lies! Do the lies never end?" So, yeah.
So it looks like after a really quick Google search, so it looks like the original like workshop that worked on like the special effects for the Peter Jackson trilogy, they are working on this series. Yay. So, which I guess it makes sense. It's like, dude, like, you know, 20 plus years later, and it still looks so good. Yeah. They want to like hire them again.
Yeah.
Which also, the other thing is just like the story route they're going. I'm excited, but also I guess it just wasn't what I expected, because it's got like big Sauron, but it's Sauron, but it's like Sauron's origin story.
Yeah.
And there's that whole like, I did not expect the part where he's like the boogeyman under the floorboards, and he's got his little hand coming up. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I don't know why. I just never imagined Sauron as just being, I don't know. I guess I never thought about him having an origin story of like where he's physically like a creepy guy.
Well, I mean, they kind of explain it in the books, not like the original books, but some of the other stuff that Tolkien wrote, where he was, you know, he was very similar to what the wizards are, where they were sent down to help guide all of the things from the gods that created the planet, or, you know, Middle Earth. They sent down these groups of people, well, beings like the wizards, and Sauron was like a kind of like offshoot of what the wizards were, to be helpful in guiding the beings of, you know, Middle Earth, I guess. Well, not just Middle Earth, but like the whole planet pretty much that they're on. And a group of them just got greedy, and Sauron became like the head of those greedy ones, and the gods got so mad at him, they like cursed him to be like, nobody will trust you, and that's why you look like this now. Rah! And I'm like, then why didn't you just take him out? Like, why would you just like, oh, we're gonna make you ugly, instead of just like taking him out? Like,
yeah, I think I didn't expect it to be like he's a spooky monster. I think I expected more of like a like Darth Vader thing, where, you know, he's like a guy, and then like things happen, and then he becomes like an evil guy in a big suit. Like, I don't know, it just wasn't what I expected. But I don't know, I'm still like, I'm excited to watch it, but I don't have high hopes. Yeah.
Cool. So that means hopefully if it's good, which I'm really hoping it's good. I need this, because don't get me wrong, the Hobbit movies were pretty good, but like I said, because they're relying on CGI And then adding Legolas to it just kind of like took me out of it a little too much. So I'm hoping these might follow Tolkien's like short stories and stuff like that a little closer. I don't know. We're going to have to see. Maybe I have to like forget about all the books and short stories to, I don't know. We're going to have to see.
I will say this though, as someone who likes, the Wheel of Time books and who watched the Wheel of Time show, I really wish that show got like a third of the budget that this show is getting, because my God, like I don't know if Bezos is like, I love Lord of the Rings, just throw money at it, and I would be so rich in my life that I just personally fund every single thing that I love. It just
I would.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, also, I taking it from another approach too is just like Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, the like original like movies. How many they like broke records of how many Oscars?
Billions of dollars with a B.
Yeah, and so like I kind of think it's probably not all altruism that's guiding the budget of the show. Like it's a series that they know they can make money on. Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like this is the right time to do it too. Yeah.
But Shanice, have you been enjoying the Wheel of Time series? Because I saw that they got confirmed for a third season too. Yeah.
So with Wheel of Time, it's like what I told another person who also loves Wheel of Time books, but he did not care for the show at all. I was like, all right, so is it like a shot for shot, like retelling of this book? No. Were there changes in this in the show that kind of made me go, what? Yes, I did, but like I understood why they did it. It's like, okay, so I guess for non-book readers, they won't be like, whoa, what's going on? And for things that, and I love these books so much, but there are things in these books that are kind of like, you know what I mean? So I took it as a interpretation of the books that does its own thing, and I was okay with this. Okay, it's doing its own thing. I'm fine. It's watchable. And the last scene of the first season made me super hyped for the second season, which we should be getting in a couple months. So it's like, I guess a long-winded answer to your question. I really did enjoy the show. But again, on that note, I really wish it had the Lord of the Rings budget. Oh my God.
Oh my God. All right. So now that we are done with our shows of, San Diego and, me geeking out of Lord of the Rings. Anywho, now it's time for Pick of the Week. Woo. So this week was Bean's Pick of the Week. So Bean, tell us about what you picked, and then we can tell you how we feel.
Yes. This week I picked The Passageway, which is a short graphic novel, but it is a graphic novel by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino, and it is beginning technically the Bone Orchard mythos. They're this huge series they're doing over like the next 3 years. Wow. Technically, it started on Free Comic Book Day, but this is like the first real like entry, and it is super good. I really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping you guys did too. So what'd you guys think?
This was the first comic book that I've read that legit had a jump scare. So I was reading it last night. I turned the page. I'm like, oh fudge. So and I didn't throw your book just to make sure, because I was like, man, if I throw this book, I'm gonna have like 3 or 4 people coming after me. But I enjoyed it. I really like the creative team that worked on it, because it's gold every single time that they work together. The one thing though that I kind of wish was done just a little bit better was I know that it's the first part. Well, I guess, like you said, technically the first part was on Free Comic Day, but you read that issue, then this is the first part to this big, world building, mythos that they're doing.
Mhm.
The pacing of it, I just wish was a little bit better. I know it's just a one-off, original graphic novel, and I really wish that we saw more of what you see at the bottom. Because it was legit creepy and unsettling, and it reminded me of this movie that came out 2 years ago that's also based off a graphic novel called The Empty Man, with some of the images I saw, in those pages. But I really liked it. I mean, I liked it a lot, and I'm excited for the second part. Do you know when that's going to be coming out, like this year or next year? Or
It's September.
September?
Oh, okay.
And it's called 1,000 Black Feathers, I think is the title of, and it's going to be a comic series. I don't know how many issues it's going to be.
Okay.
Because they have a roadmap. I forget, but they're not taking big breaks. I think that they basically already have everything made for like 2 years. Because you can literally look, and they have a roadmap going out, like they're doing this one, and then they're doing the next series, and they're doing the next series, and that this has been in the works.
Okay. I feel better now. I feel bad now.
Oh, why? What's up?
So I was so mad at this book. Okay. Hold on. I really enjoyed the art. I enjoyed the story. I wish we more of the story.
Yeah.
I wanted to know more about what was going on underground, what was going on with the siblings, why were the siblings doing the things, why was she naked for a minute there, why was I had questions, and I was like, I have all of these questions. Also, my biggest question, what happened to his drone? That was expensive. I know it was. I know that thing was lots of money, from how big it was versus how big the hole was, with all the cameras and the pretty and the recording and it was expensive, and I know it was. What happened to it? First and foremost, what happened to the drone? Did it just get taken out by the birds and it's just at the bottom all crushed and destroyed now? My heart breaks. And then nothing got answered. There were all these questions. Nothing got answered. And then it just ended. So I was mad. I even told Jay, I closed the book and I finished it and I just went, and he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, this book pissed me off on any book that I have in this house right now. And he was like, oh my God, was it bad? And I was like, no, it just pissed me off. I'm mad.
Yeah. I totally hear you. I very much, I'm tempted to say that I agree. I agree that I did want, I enjoyed it, but I do wish, because especially when they said we're coming out with a graphic novel.
Just answer one question. That's all.
Yeah, just have some story, because I'm gonna just tell you too, the Free Comic Book Day one, same thing. There's a guy, there was some backstory to him. He went to a place, a creepy thing happened to him, and it was creepy. And that's been all we've seen. They're definitely doing slow burn build up.
I'm gonna have to wait till the whole thing is done and then go back and read it, because I was filled with so much rage. I was pacing around the backyard with all 3 dogs looking at me like I was crazy. I'm I am a little crazy.
It was beautiful artwork.
Oh, it was. But were the crows eating the eyes?
Yes, I think so.
Is that for real happening or in his dream happening?
Oh yeah, no, that I remember the part that you're talking about now. Yeah, I don't know.
Reader interpretation.
Yeah, I think that was supposed him hallucinating it or imagining it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something, because I'm kind of curious about that now too. It's I know I mentioned the pacing earlier, but the characterization, I was like, I want, this character seems really cool, the old lady.
Yeah.
Who, like Jenna said,
Why was he
someone's
naked?
taking it out of nowhere. But
For one
and
whole,
that-
one panel on one page, he looks out the window, she's standing there naked, and then he's like, oh, okay, and then he walks out and she's fully clothed, and I'm like, that is the fastest wardrobe, like clothing of what?
But like I also like because the book it genuinely is unsettling because I wish to see like a live action adaptation just like of the story. It's like okay, this would be like a A24 horror film so fast, like with the slow burn and just the imagery of it. And I am wondering because with the other books coming out, if it'll read like because it reads good now, but I wonder if it'll read like better like once you have everything connected and you just like binge watch it or binge read.
Yeah.
Well, I guess watch the pages like binge read the book.
I don't know with how this book was. It felt like I was watching it. You know, just I don't know. Okay, so here's my list of questions. What happened to his mother? What happened to her eyes? What did he do? Did he actually do something? What is under the water? What is under the water? What is under the island? Why did they literally just call him there to actually, feed him to whatever is down there? Also, why was she naked? And the dude just like himself after he just went to his sister, like questions. And on that note,
for anybody watching this show in the future, just
on that note, we need to step away from this book. So next week's pick, it is Shanice's pick. Tell me you have something that's not going to make my face twitch up in pure, unadulterated rage.
I am recommending The Passageway again. Bane just give us a book again. We're gonna reread it. In all seriousness, so my recommendation is a book that came out this week from Scott Snyder from IDW. So it's called The Dark Places Wildfire, where it's about volunteer. You'll see what I mean when you all read it. Firefighters.
Yes.
Who plan a heist in the middle of a wildfire, and the book tells you on the first page this will not end well. So I read the first issue today and I loved it. And I'm curious to see how this book ends because again I know it tells you it's gonna have a sad ending. But man, oh man, like these characters I love at first sight. I really like all these characters. So I'm excited for y'all to check it out. And we can talk about it.
So and is this like brand new? Like,
brand new.
Nice.
I don't know how it flew past my radar because I love Scott Snyder's books, and I was on Twitter. I was like, oh, don't forget to check out my new book this week. I'm like, what?
All right. Well, I think with that, we're gonna wrap up, and we are gonna go read about criminal firefighters for next week. I'm excited, and we will see you guys next time. This has been Bean, Jena, and Shanice with Space Cadettes. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.